The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit, and once again, I'm joined by my friend Steve Sabaki. Welcome back, sir. It's so nice to see you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be back.
Here we are.
Another show.
Another show.
Two now. Is this a trend?
We'll see. We chatted last month about our favorite movies of 2024, and we find ourselves back here again because at the end of last episode, you said, "Are we going to talk about the Oscars at some point?" And here we are to talk about the Oscars.
It's my fault.
You've done it. As long as you leave breadcrumbs at the end of every episode, I'll go, all right, I guess we got to go to another one.
On with the show. This is it.
Yeah. So this week, we're going to talk about the upcoming Oscars telecast. We're going to make some picks, some predictions, all that. But first, I want to ask you, in the month that we've been apart, have you seen anything good?
A few days ago, I saw a nominee for Best Animated Feature, The Wild Robot.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only nominee in the group that I have seen for that particular category, and I think it's going to win the Oscar. For
Having seen one of them, you're like, I
yeah,
got it.
I mean, yeah, that's a real qualified opinion. I've only seen one of them.
Yep, and it was the best one I've seen.
Yeah, it was the best one I've seen, but this one reminded me of an animated movie I took my 8-year-old daughter to in 1999, The Iron Giant.
Such a good movie.
Which is really, and I haven't seen that one
The
for
best
a long
Vin
time.
Diesel movie.
Was he part of that?
He was the voice of the Iron Giant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was Vin Diesel even a thing back then?
No, I think he just did Pitch Black, and they're like, this guy's got a cool voice.
But this is DreamWorks. DreamWorks animation can be hit or miss for me. This film was a hit. I teared up.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. I did too. I went and saw this in the theater with my daughter. And
did she like it?
She loved it.
Yeah.
I was wiping tears because I'm a parent who has had to watch children leave the nest, and I felt like that was a strong part of this movie. And oh man, there's some parental guilt in there. There's all kinds of things that hit me. It's a really powerful, really good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Nice. I saw a movie which I think you will want to see. It's playing in theaters right now. I went to the Palace, and I saw Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
First authorized documentary about Led Zeppelin, starring the 3 living members of the band. And it's great because it's them sitting there separately, reminiscing, talking about literally becoming Led Zeppelin from children and going through being session musicians and being part of the Yardbirds. And then when that disbanded, taking that and forming Led Zeppelin. And the best part is you're watching Jimmy Page looking at videos of him as a young teen when he first got his first guitar, playing it, and watching early videos of the group just together and them performing with other people. You're watching them as they listen to recordings of John Bonham talking about those early days.
Oh, wow.
And they put something up on the screen that said John Bonham didn't do a lot of interviews. He hated doing interviews. He hated media. And so these tapes are very few and far between. And a lot of this is footage and audio that just has never been released. And so you're watching them beaming with a smile, listening to their old friend's voice, tears in their eyes. It's beautiful. And then going through their whole career up through Led Zeppelin 2, and when now they run the world as far as music, and just one of the most influential, legendary rock bands. It's one of the great rock docs that I've ever seen.
Wow, that's high praise.
It is.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see it because a lot of the old 60s stuff that I play on my radio show, Seldom Heard, every Monday night from 7 to 8 on 103.5 FM.
Get it in.
A lot of the old 60s stuff has Jimmy Page playing guitar on the track.
Yeah. There was a lot of that where I didn't realize, like, oh, because he was a session musician,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was on this and I was on that. And like, oh, you're like a Muscle Shoals guy, and he was like 13.
He played on a ton of old songs.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know about until I was doing research about the songs that I was going to play on the show. I'm like, oh, Jimmy Page is on this. He plays guitar.
It's pretty cool.
So I do want to see
John Paul
that.
Jones, same thing. He was also a session musician. Yeah, really interesting. So
I want to see it.
I highly recommend Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
All right, now we are here to talk about some Oscars. The Oscars telecast, the 97th Academy Awards, is Sunday, March 2nd. We are going to have a new host, Conan O'Brien, going to be hosting the Oscars this year. How do you feel about Conan O'Brien stepping onto the stage?
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping he does a good job. That can be a brutal career move.
Ask David Letterman how that worked out.
But it's going to be interesting to see how they balance that with what has been happening is with the situation in Los Angeles with the wildfires. I mean, there have been some award shows that have been held up to this point that have struck a really nice balance with humor and that.
Sure.
And it'll be interesting to see how the Oscars handle that.
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
And I think they will. In some way. I don't know how it's going to be done that way, but I think they will.
I'm a big fan of Conan. I think,
I am too.
I think a lot of the people in the audience are big fans of Conan.
And there might be a few that might be a little leery about him being up there.
Sure. Yeah, I'm excited. So that's coming as we record March 2nd. And so today we just wanted to talk about, we chose kind of the 8 big categories and want to give our predictions for who we think will win the award. If we had an award, who we would give that award to, and then also maybe some films or talent who we feel like should have gotten recognized with at least a nomination, and we're not recognized with that. And so we're going to get started with our original screenplay category, where the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. Now, your prediction for Oscars night, who do you think is going to win the award for original screenplay?
Well, I've seen 3 out of the 5. I have not seen September 5 or The Substance, but this, to me, was a tough category to predict because I think it's a race between the 3 that I have seen, Anora, A Real Pain, and The Brutalist. Sean Baker won the Writers Guild Award. Typically, those that win that award go on to win at the Oscars.
Sure.
Last year, there was a glitch with that. The Holdovers won at Writers Guild, but Anatomy of a Fall won at the Oscars, so there was a difference there. But I think Sean Baker will take...
for Anora.
For Anora, yes. Real Pain, maybe, because Real Pain won BAFTA. I don't know how much weight BAFTA carries going into the
I don't
Oscars.
feel like it's a great
so?
one-to-one transfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know some people get excited about it and say, I got to change everything now in my predictions because of that.
I don't, especially because a lot of times you see the nominations for the BAFTAs are very different from the Academy Awards, and so the competition is very different as well. So you predict that Sean Baker and Anora are going to be given the speech. Now, I have a feeling you're not the big Anora fan. Who would you give your award to?
I would give it to The Brutalist, Brady Corbett and Mona Fastvold. They won a couple of regional awards for Best Original Screenplay, nothing national or international that I could find. I did see it recently. I did like it. It would not have changed my top 10 for the year. But this is such a epic, sprawling, heavy, detailed, sometimes depressing movie. It's such an original story. I mean, you think about the fact that how did they come up with this idea and how did they put it on paper to come up with this 3.5-hour epic film, which thank goodness we had a 15-minute intermission.
You're right, yeah.
I thought that was quite an achievement.
And it's basically like 2 different movies from one half to the second half. And to make it meld together, I agree. It's all in the writing with that. Now, who do you think should have been nominated that didn't get a nomination?
Well, I think it should go to Nick Payne, and he was the screenwriter for We Live in Time, which was in my top 10. Yes, it is a tearjerker. Yes, I did cry. As did a lot of other people in the theater. For me, it's not hard. But it's not an over-the-top tearjerker, and I think the reason for that is the Nick Payne writing, what he did with the interactions between Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, who play the couple in the movie, and the dialogue between them. It was very real. At least
I think that could have gotten really hokey.
It could have been.
The technique that they were using with the time jumps. And I was worried about that when I saw it, but he did a great job of making it feel real and not losing the thread of that story. Yeah, it was really effective. My prediction, I agree with you. I think Anora is going to win. I think Sean Baker will be giving his speech for the screenplay for Honora. I really think that it was one of my favorite movies of the year. And so I also, if I'm handing out my award, here you go. I'm also giving that to Sean Baker as well. I think that really well deserving with this movie. Is writing the strongest point of this movie? Maybe not. Maybe not. I can see that argument. But I think he's going to win. And I agree with you as far as who I think should be nominated, should have gotten nominated. I would have loved to see
Nick Payne.
Nick Payne, thank you, get nominated for that. Because,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A little
really good
surprised
movie.
at that.
Really good.
I mean, I know you liked it. I don't think it was in your top 10.
It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just outside. I believe it was number 11.
Oh, okay.
From when we were doing the show and you were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that was just outside my
Okay.
top 10. Because it did. It had me like seriously sobbing in the theater. Like lots of wiping tears throughout that movie. Really well written. Let's move on to our adapted screenplay, where the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Now, the night of the telecast, who are you predicting will be getting this award?
I think it's going to go to Conclave, to Peter Strahan. It's based on a 2016 novel. It won BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe. Now, what may hurt it is that Nickel Boys, which was very good, won adapted screenplay by the Writers Guild. Conclave wasn't nominated, so that Nickel Boys could slip in there
Sure.
as a result of that. Conclave, my second favorite film of the year. You and I went to it together. It was a good old-fashioned thriller, kept you engrossed in the story. Dialogue sharp, story never drags. I'm still thinking about the ending. I love this movie.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple of times when it hit
Yeah, I have
streaming.
to
I
do
watched it
that.
again because it's good to watch just a movie just made for adults, starring adults, just
Rated
chewing,
PG.
just chewing dialogue, and it's all in the writing. You just put
is.
great performers
Yeah.
up there, give them really interesting dialogue, and let them go. Put the cameras up, and yeah, I agree with you. And Conclave was a good time. Now, your award. Who are you going to give your award to?
I would give it to the folks that wrote Emilia Perez.
Interesting.
This was based on an opera, which was based on a chapter of a 2018 French novel.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
to take all that and then transform it into a musical, a dramatic musical nonetheless, on a kind of a strange topic. It was unique, it was original, something I'd
very
never
original.
seen before. I just thought there should be recognition for that, and this is coming from somebody who would be so happy if A Complete Unknown wins. But I don't think Emilia Perez is going to win because I'm sure people have, if you've been following this, have heard about the backlash from one of its cast members and old social media posts. That's probably going to knock it out. But I think, for the people that wrote this, they should get the award.
Okay. Who do you think should have been nominated that didn't get recognized?
I'm going to go with Wicked, based on the Broadway stage musical, based on a 1995 novel. I thought, wonderful job transitioning this to the big screen. I had never seen this on stage.
Okay.
This really could have been a disaster. It wasn't. I thought the writing played a big part of that. The writing really made me care about these characters.
Sure.
So much so that I can't wait for the second part.
Yeah.
Which is a long time from now.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. We've got two musicals that are in this category, Wicked and Emilia Perez. The last time a musical won this award, Best Adapted Screenplay, believe it or not, was Gigi
That blows me away.
in 1958.
I would have.
The year I was born.
I would have put my wallet on the table and said that's Chicago, because they were
That's
sweeping
what
everything.
I kind of thought. As I'm kind of scrolling
Gigi.
through all the nominees online, I'm thinking, not yet, not yet. And then I get to 1958 and it's Gigi.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was back when you were born.
It was a long time ago. A long time ago.
All right. My prediction, I echo you. I think Conclave will win. I think they're very deserving for that win. Like you said, I mean, it's all on the page. If you write good dialogue and give it to Ralph Fiennes, just step out of the way, right? I mean, that guy's one of a kind as far as his ability to deliver great dialogue, and then you surround him with that cast that they had. I would love that. But if I'm giving my award, I would give it to Nickel Boys, a movie that I absolutely fell in love with. Saw it after we did our Best of the Year telecast, and it would have been very high up on my list then. I was blown away by this movie, totally transfixed by it. It was one of those movies that was stirring in my head for a couple of days afterwards.
Yeah.
It really affected me. And so, most of that is in the writing. And I really, really enjoy that. So I'm pulling for Nickel Boys. I'm really hoping that they get the award for adapted screenplay. I did not write anything down on my cheat sheet for what I hope would have gotten a nomination. I failed on that one.
That's
Nothing
okay.
there. And I stick to the notes. So we move on into our Best Supporting Actor category, where the nominees are Yuri Borisov for Honora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Now, I think this one's a foregone conclusion, but who are you predicting will win this award?
Yeah, this to me is the no-brainer category for the year. It's going to be Kieran Culkin. He's won pretty much every major award leading up to this. This was a movie that I was really looking forward to seeing it, given all the praise it's been getting. And then when I saw it, I kind of went, all right. But I will say the best thing about the movie is Kieran Culkin and his performance. I mean, this is a role that he can play in his sleep, but it's your typical Kieran Culkin type character.
I hear if you give him too much Pepsi, you can't trust him in his sleep.
Yeah, okay.
Fuller, take it easy on the Pepsi.
But it's a great performance, and I think he'll win this, hands down.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, not your favorite performance of the year, so who would you give your award for supporting actor to?
Oh, it's got to go to Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. He plays Pete Seeger, and he's been nominated for an Oscar 4 times. He's never won.
Unreal.
Which is unbelievable.
One of our great actors of the last generation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Google an old video of Pete Seeger. He's a legendary folk singer. Then see this movie and compare it to Edward Norton's performance. You're going to be amazed at the transformation. I mean, he got Seeger down to a T. He even learned to play banjo.
I don't know who does that.
Pete Seeger's distinctive style for this.
If I asked you to learn how to play banjo to be on the show next time, what would you?
No, I wouldn't be on the show next time. To me, that's amazing. So.
Yeah, I
And
like that. Who should have gotten a nomination? They didn't.
Well, it was kind of shocking to me that you got on the supporting actress side, you got Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, which she deserved.
Yep.
But nobody from Conclave for this category. And you had John Lithgow. But come on, let's recognize Stanley Tucci.
The Tooch.
Who played the American Cardinal. The only time he's been nominated for an Oscar was for supporting actor for...
You've told me this, and I've already forgotten. What was it?
The Lovely Bones.
That's right.
How many of us remember that movie in 2009?
Yeah.
I think he played kind of a bad guy.
Yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been way, way, way overlooked for what he's done over the years.
One of the great character actors.
He is.
He was good in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stanley
So
Tucci.
He should have been nominated.
I like that. My prediction, I think this is the one. I think every year there's a category that's just like, you can just cross this one out. Everyone knows who's getting it. It's a foregone conclusion. Kieran Culkin is going to win this award. And I think it's also probably the weakest category, supporting actor.
I can agree with that.
I don't think there's like a huge standout in here. And so kind of going chalk, Kieran Culkin is going to win this. He'll give his speech. It'll be great. And because there isn't a standout in here, like Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice was good. Guy Pearce I thought was fine in the Brutalist. Yuri Borisov and Honora didn't jump off the screen to me. I'll give it to Kieran Culkin. I like the guy. I like a Culkin winning an award. I would give it to him as well. Now, I think that there was an injustice here, though, as far as great performances, because I think a nomination should have gone to an actor from a movie that I recently saw, Sing Sing. Clarence Macklin, supporting
Wow.
actor in that one, who plays Clarence Macklin, a prisoner who doesn't. He joins the acting troupe that puts on plays and musicals for the prisoners, and doesn't want to necessarily give up his street persona and give himself into
Okay.
being an actor. And there's a lot of rough transitions in there with him and the other actors. Coleman Domingo in there. He's great, and he's not really even an actor per se.
He's a former inmate.
Like, this is kind of his story.
Yeah.
And he blew me away watching it. And I'm kind of looking him up, like, who is this guy? He's jumping off the screen. And look it up, and it's Clarence Macklin playing Clarence Macklin. Like, oh, wow, okay. And I thought he should have been nominated.
Well, I was surprised he wasn't because
Yeah.
of all the praise he had been getting up until that.
I think you could have replaced Guy Pearce with him, and
Yeah.
I would have been very happy. So
And this is Sing Sing is streaming now, right?
it
Somewhere?
is. I just rented it last night because they had a price drop.
Okay.
So check it out. It's good.
I gotta
It's
look
very
for
good.
it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our Best Supporting Actress category, where we have the nominees as follows: Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Who's winning this award?
Well, I actually think this is a pretty competitive category, and all the performances were first rate. Everybody, I think, deserves the Oscar. I've seen all 5 of these. But I think this is going to be Zoe Saldana. She's going to win this for Emilia Perez. I don't think the backlash this movie's received recently is going to tarnish or has tarnished her achievement at all. She won BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe. She's probably going to win SAG, which hasn't been held yet as of the taping of this show. She sings. She's great acting in this. I would be shocked if she lost.
Yeah.
I really would.
I agree. She seems kind of like another foregone conclusion there. Now, who would you give your award to, though?
I would give it to big surprise, Monica Barbaro of A Complete Unknown plays Joan Baez, and I remember watching the Joan Baez documentary streaming somewhere a number of months ago, and then I watched this movie and I thought, wow, she's Joan Baez. I mean, she completely transformed into her, and she took singing and guitar lessons to prepare for this role. I don't think she's getting enough credit for her performance. I'm glad she was nominated. I would love to see her win. I never heard of her before. Apparently she was in Top Gun Maverick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was a flight student in there.
Who knew? So I would give it to her.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Great list of nominees. Is there someone you thought should have been nominated that didn't get?
Yeah, let's go with Aubrey Plaza from My Old Ass.
Yeah.
This movie's about an 18-year-old girl who encounters her 39-year-old self, played by Plaza. She only appears in the movie a couple of times. She could have real easily have played this in her typical smart aleck Aubrey Plaza Parks and Rec
Snarky all the way.
fashion.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. I mean, she turns in a really kind of a humorous, heartwarming, touching performance. It's not the Aubrey Plaza that you see now in the Ritz cracker commercials.
I'm sure that's what she wants to be known
with
as.
Michael Shannon. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
She showed that a few years ago with Emily the Criminal.
Yeah.
I thought she was nominated for an Oscar for
don't
that.
believe she
but I
was.
don't, she wasn't. She should have been.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
And she should have been nominated here.
I like that. Yeah, she plays it pretty much straightforward. She's the emotional core to that movie, though.
She is.
Despite only being in a couple of moments. Yeah, she's really effective. That movie caught me off guard because I thought I knew what it was going to be going in from ads and just Aubrey Plaza's going to be the star of this movie. She wasn't necessarily a star, and it wasn't the Aubrey Plaza that I've seen in everything else, which was nice. I like that. Good choice. Okay, so for my prediction, I concur with you that Zoe Saldana is going to win this award. Very fitting. She had to carry this movie. She's the heart of this movie, and I think she's might be the only thing that survives, that rises above the fray of the controversy surrounding Emilia Perez. I think that she is able to survive all of that, where I think a lot of the other categories are kind of getting it
Well,
lost.
I mean, what's interesting about this is when you see it, this movie's about her.
Yes, it's her
really
movie.
not. I mean, it's Amelia Perez. She's part of the story, but it's pretty much about
The movie opens with
character
her,
that Zoe
and it's her
Saldana
story, it's her
plays.
journey.
So I kind of thought, why is she best supporting actress for this? I didn't quite understand that.
I agree. And so for me, I would also give her the award. Like, I enjoy seeing Zoe Saldana, who is an actress who I've enjoyed for a number of years since she was young. I mean, I believe the first thing I maybe saw her in was she was Lieutenant Uhura in the Star Trek movies reboots.
Yeah.
And then she was in some bad action movies like Columbiana, which was terrible. And then, of course, stepping into green makeup for Guardians of the Galaxy. And she hasn't done a lot of meaty projects, something that tests her. And this one did. She's out there singing. She's bringing emotional performance to it. I want to see more of that Zoe Saldana, and so I'm hoping she gets recognized for it. I would love to see that, and going forward, her to get more meaty roles as opposed to just the girl who kicks people in the face. Now, as far as somebody who I would love to have seen get a nomination, I looked through movies that I really enjoyed from this past year, looked at my top 10 list, and I believe my number 3 movie at the time was a movie called His Three Daughters. And it starred 3 wonderful actresses putting on great performances, but by far the best in that was Natasha Lyonne, and I thought she should have gotten recognized. She's another actress who's great working actress who's been working since she was a child. Doesn't really get a lot of recognition for it.
No, she doesn't. Not at all.
And she was the driving heartbeat of this great drama with three sisters dealing with past trauma and current issues with the dying father, and I loved her in this movie, and I think she should have gotten some sort of recognition for it, and unfortunately she didn't. But that's who I would have given my nomination to.
Yeah, I think a sleeper in this category, and I think the odds are not all that great, but I let's not leave her totally out of the discussion here. Ariana Grande for Wicked. Cynthia Erivo for Best Actress. I thought she was very, very good, but it shocked the heck out of me. Ariana Grande, for me, stole the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this film.
I got
really
a feeling
did.
there's going to be some Wicked awards coming next
After
year.
the next one.
Let part 2 come out, and then we'll start talking about it.
I think you're
that's
right.
But we'll see. You never know. All right, let's move on to our lead actor category, where our nominees are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Now, who do you think is walking away with this one? I think this one's a little more contentious.
Yeah, it could be. But I think it's going to be Adrian Brody. I think he's the front runner. I mean, he won BAFTA, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. I thought his performance was very strong, similar to his performance in 2002 when he won the Best Actor Award for The Pianist.
You're right.
For him to be nominated twice, this would be his second nomination, and win both times would be a remarkable feat. I don't think there's been a lot
kind of a rare feat
of actors that have done that. I mean, it's a very depressing, dark movie, but I thought he was excellent. The cast was excellent. Felicity Jones, we just talked about.
Yeah,
Best
but I mean, she
Supporting
doesn't show
Actress.
up until an
Second
hour
half
into
of
the movie.
Yeah, but I thought she was great.
Yeah,
but yeah, Adrian Brody carried the movie.
yeah, absolutely. Who would you give your award to? I think I might know.
Yeah. So Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown. I mean, I'm going to be honest, he's becoming one of my favorite actors. I loved him in Call Me By Your Name, Little Women, the Dune movies.
Yeah. He's been good in everything.
I didn't see the one where he played the cannibal.
He was good in that. He was good in Wonka.
Wonka, I thought he was good. Yeah, I actually did. I think he nailed playing Bob Dylan, even though I initially thought his casting was a mistake.
Sure.
When I first heard about it. He spent 5 years preparing for this. He sang 40 Dylan songs in the film. I don't think you see all of them.
No.
But while also playing guitars and harmonicas himself, and all the performances were recorded live while filming.
Right.
It was an interesting interview that he did on 60 Minutes. I don't know if you saw that about a week ago, where he talked about that. I mean, he really convinced me that, I mean, he was Bob Dylan during those 2+ hours, which is a tremendous feat. At 29 years old, I just found, got all these fun facts.
Oh, I like it. All right.
Win would make him the youngest Best Actor winner in history,
Whoa.
surpassing the record set by who?
Youngest Best Actor in history.
Who holds it now? We just talked about him.
We did?
Yes.
On air?
Just a few minutes ago.
We did?
Yeah.
Digging through my notes. I'm drawing a blank.
Adrian Brody.
Oh, Adrian Brody. Wow.
For The Pianist, yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know how old he was back in 2002 when he won it,
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
but he was, it was.
Wow.
He was the youngest.
Wow. I like this fun fact. All right. So you're giving it to Timothy Chalamet. Who would you have liked to see get a nomination?
I'm going to go with Andrew Garfield for We Live in Time. He's been nominated twice for an Oscar for Hacksaw Ridge and Tick, Tick, Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Which was my second. I looked this up. We talked about it back then when we did our best of show. It was my second favorite film of 2021.
Yeah.
I wanted Garfield to win the Oscar that year. He didn't. I can't remember who did. This movie really could have failed miserably were it not for the performances of him and Florence Pugh. Very convincing. Did bring me to tears.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love the movie, and I thought he should have been nominated.
I like that. That's a good one. I agree with you on your prediction. I think Adrian Brody will win. And it's fitting that he does. I really do not like Adrian Brody as an actor. I never
really?
have. No.
Okay.
Never have. I've liked him in two things, and he's won the award for both, I believe. I mean, I liked him in The Pianist, and I liked him in this, and I expect him to win. Outside of that, I do not like him as an actor.
Okay.
Don't really care for him as a guy. And so it's hard. It's telling when I sit there for 3.5 hours fully engaged in his performance as an actor that I don't really care for. And I didn't feel the runtime. I enjoyed the movie. I thought he was great. I mean, he's the driving force of the entire movie.
Yeah.
And it says a lot that I was able to look past my dislike of the actor, which sometimes I'm unable to do. I admit that freely. That sometimes I'm not rooting for that guy.
Okay.
And so I do think that he will win. Now, who would I give my award to? I go back to Sing Sing. Coleman Domingo blew me away watching that movie. I mean, he is one of our great actors. Like everything I see him in,
Yes,
he's
he
a
is.
stage actor, stage trained, amazing. Everything I see him in, I'm like, wow, he's the best thing in that. The best part of that. Even as a supporting actor in things early in his career, I go, that guy was incredible. He was stealing scenes. And now, I mean, they give him this, and he has so much texture to his character as an inmate who has hopes of getting out, who is a playwright, who takes a lot of pride in being the actor and the playwright in the prison and putting on these plays for the other prisoners, and suddenly has to swallow some pride when this new guy shows up. And yeah, it's a really nuanced performance, and he's amazing. And I really, really am rooting for him to win. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I'm really rooting for it because I think that he needs to get more recognition.
I have to see that.
Yes. I'm kind of tossed and turned about who I wish would have gotten a nomination. Now, immediately my first thought was Sebastian Stan. You say, well, he already got a nomination.
Yeah, I
but
didn't
not
see
for the
that
right
either.
movie, I don't think.
Okay.
He got nominated for The Apprentice playing Donald Trump. When we talked about our favorite movies, I had A Better Man in my top 10. I thought he was incredible in that movie.
Different man.
A Different Man, sorry, yes. Better Man was a monkey movie. A Different Man. But then I started thinking about it a little more, and I said, you know what? You know who's an actor who I think should have gotten a little shine? A movie that wasn't as highly thought of, whatever, but an actor who I like and who's been a character actor for his career. But it was David Dastmalchian for Late Night with the Devil, who that movie is squarely on his shoulders.
Okay.
There is no effects like in A Better Man, Different Man. Oh, boy. It's him carrying this movie 100%. And I enjoyed him quite a bit in that. And it made me want to see more of him as a leading man than the supporting actor he's been through his entire career. So
He's one of those guys where you don't know the name, but you see the face.
It's that guy.
And you go, yeah,
that guy.
I've seen him before.
Oh, he was in
Yeah.
Batman. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so I would love to see more of him and a little recognition for what he's capable of. So, going a little outside the board here, but all right, let's move on to our lead actress category, where we have the nominees as follows: Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. That's a list of names that I am not sure if I pronounced them all correctly.
I don't. You're probably right.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Demi?
I don't know.
Anyways,
I should have looked it up.
the awards are being handed out on March 2nd. Who is going to stand there crying, thanking the Academy for the award?
Well, I did not see The Substance, and if people know me, they know why.
You probably love it.
No. But she's gonna. I think she will win, and she's won Critics' Choice Golden Globe. This is hers to lose. It's her. I thought this was a subsequent Oscar nomination that she's been nominated before, but
She's never been nominated?
This is her first Oscar nomination.
Not even for About Last Night?
No, not for that. And even though I haven't seen the film, based on everything that I've observed, I've read, my daughter saw it, I talked to her about it, I think she deserves this.
And there's kind of a little bit of Lifetime Achievement. The Academy loves one of these stories.
Some people are saying, oh, it's a comeback. I hate using that term.
Yeah.
Her career's been on the quiet side for the last several years. But she's done a lot of good things in movies. And yeah, you're right. The Academy does at times hand out Career Achievement Awards.
They love a story. There's a narrative aspect to a lot of these.
Yep.
All right, so if you think Demi Moore is going to win, who are you giving your award to, though?
Well, then, I think she's going to win, and I think she should.
Yeah. I like this, a blind. I'm giving it to the movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, and I'm not going to see it.
I just give it a minute. No. Maybe just watch like the last 20 minutes of it.
It's okay.
That's the part where I was like this.
Wow.
Give it a shot. Speaking directly to Steve's daughter, if you can just get him to watch it,
She tries to get me to watch all the horror films, and I'm like, no.
I think what do they call that when you're forced to deal with things you don't like?
Not doing it. That's what it's called.
Yeah, we can get you through that therapy. All right. So Demi Moore is the big winner for you now. Who do you think should have been nominated for something here?
Well, I talked about Andrew Garfield, so I got to go with Florence Pugh of We Live in Time. I mean, I will watch anything that she's in, except for Midsummer.
That's a great movie, too.
I loved her in Little Women. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for that. Yes. I thought she was great in Don't Worry, Darling, even though I hated the movie.
Yeah.
I normally don't look forward to another Marvel movie coming out, but she's going to be in Thunderbolts, which is coming out in May, and I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So,
I love her. The first thing I saw her in was Lady Macbeth a number of years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Never heard of her. Just saw this movie, and I'm like, oh, she's an interesting actress. And then maybe Midsummer was the next one. There's a couple other ones, Little Women. They all kind of came sprinkling in on top of each other, and I was like, you know what? She's steadily becoming one of my favorite actresses. She always delivers in everything. And this is, I don't know a movie that I thought that she wasn't good in. Like you said, Don't Worry, Darling.
The one where she played a member of the family that wrestled.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Wrestling with Family or
Something
Fighting with
like
My Family?
that. Yeah, Fighting with
She
Family.
played Paige. Yeah, she's good in that. I would say Don't Worry, Darling was not a good movie. No. She did her best with that
She's
mess that she was dealt with there. All right, let's see. Mine. Let's see. My prediction, I agree with you once again that I think Demi Moore will win. Do I think she had the best performances? I don't. But I think she had a very effective performance. And I think that it was a very meta performance of the actress who is aged out of her starlight and it will do anything to get that back. And I think she was a perfect casting for that. I do think that there is a narrative, a little bit of Lifetime Achievement Award to this. We see that from time to time. And oftentimes I feel like the Academy uses that as their tiebreaker. Like, oh, well, this actor is young. They'll be back.
Yeah.
I think it's the reason why DiCaprio took so long to win his award, because he would run up against guys like, yeah, well, he might not have another one. So let's give it to him, and DiCaprio will be back again. And so I do think that Demi Moore will win. Now, for me, I'm going with the younger actress in one of my favorite movies, and that's Mikey Madison in Honora. Mikey Madison is an actress who I've only seen in a couple of things, and everything I've seen her in, she's just gotten better and more interesting. She's just an interesting young woman. And Honora was her first time to really step into the spotlight. And man, I loved it. I was very excited for this movie before it came out just because of Sean Baker, the cast, and oftentimes that leads to massive disappointment when you go in very excited for something. And this one delivered, and a lot of it was because of her. Because there's a lot of madness going on in this movie. There's a lot of crazy characters. The crazy Armenian guy who I loved in this movie. Being Armenian myself, I love the crazy Armenian in this movie. And she has to deal with a lot of craziness happening in this movie, and I think she handles it perfectly. I enjoy her quite a bit, and so I'm really pulling for her. And I do think that it's almost a 50-50 split on her and Demi Moore for this one, as far as who I think will win.
You could be right.
I've been, she's been pulling in some of the awards as well in this season. Now, actresses that I think should have been nominated, I agree with you with Florence Pugh. But for me, it was Angelina Jolie in Maria.
Oh, I want to see that.
Great movie. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
The third in the Tragic Women in Heels series of Jackie, the Jackie Kennedy movie. Was it Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe movie? And then this.
No, it was Princess Diana.
No, you were right. It was Spencer. That's what it was.
Yeah,
It was Spencer.
Spencer,
I knew there was a connection between all these. I was thinking Blonde because the guy who plays JFK in this movie also played JFK in Blonde and played JFK in Jackie.
Okay.
That's his role. I'm going to be a JFK impersonator. But Angelina Jolie, another actress who I loved, and she kind of stopped doing interesting roles for too long.
Yeah.
I remember when she did the remake of The Changeling, I was like, wow, she's more than just Tomb Raider lady. And it's great to see her back doing something really interesting. Her singing was incredible. I mean, you talk about having to learn how to sing. She's learned how to sing opera out there. It was beautiful. It was tragic. I was not a big fan of Jackie.
I wasn't either.
I
wasn't a fan of Spencer
in
either.
and out on Spencer.
Yeah.
Maria, I really, really enjoyed.
Okay, so now I have to see it.
And part of it is just, it's her. It's her for the most part.
Okay.
And I really would have loved to see her get a nomination for that. But,
Okay.
It did not happen this year. All right, let's move on to our Best Director Award, where we have our nominees are Sean Baker for Honora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, oh boy, and Coralie Fargett for The Substance. Blow through a couple of those names. Your prediction for the night, who is going to get that award?
He won the Directors Guild Award, so it's going to be Sean Baker. I mean, usually that translates into an Oscar win. Since this whole thing started, that award has predicted the winner of the Academy Award for Best Director on all but 8 occasions.
Really?
And the last time the two differed, another fun fact, the last time the two differed was in 2019 when Sam Mendes won for 1917, the Directors Guild.
Yeah.
But the Oscar went to Bong Joon-ho
For
Parasite.
Yeah. In a shock, the Parasite swept everything.
But last year, it was Christopher Nolan won both for Oppenheimer, as did everything else. So Sean Baker.
Sean Baker. All right. Who are you giving your award to? Should I be surprised?
No, you're not going to be surprised. Come on, let's give it to James Mangold for what he did on this for this chapter of Bob Dylan's history. It's his first nomination for Best Director. I mean, come on, let's recognize what he has done. I mean, Copland, Walk the Line, 3:10 to Yuma, one of my all-time favorite westerns. Logan, Ford versus Ferrari. Let's forget about Kate and Leopold.
Yeah, let's just turn our back on that one.
And Night and Day with Tom Cruise and
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Let's also forget that he's supposedly directing the new Swamp Thing movie.
I'm excited for that.
Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's James Mangold. I think he should. I would give it to him.
You're calling for a Lifetime Achievement Award?
Yeah.
I love it. All right, that's who you would give your award to. Who should have gotten a nomination out of here? I mean, we have 10 Best Picture nominees and 5 directing nominees, which I always think is
That's
ridiculous.
dumb. I mean, if you're going to...
Ever since they opened that up, I'm like, why would you do that?
Just give
10 of these movies are the best movies
give
ever.
nominations to all 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who should have gotten a nomination?
Ramel Ross of Nickel Boys.
Oh.
No, it took me a while to get into it because there are some shifts in the point of view narrative that can be pretty jarring.
Yeah.
But once I understood what was going on, I enjoyed it. And after it was over, I couldn't stop thinking about it. He won the award for first time theatrical feature film from the Directors Guild.
That's his first film.
This is his first feature film. He
Get
directed
out.
a couple of documentaries before
Right.
it. And I thought he did an excellent job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the unique first-person POV, yeah, and it flips. You see the same scene from different angles. Like, it's so smart. I struggled at a couple of moments of, like, how much time has passed? How long has this been? But, yeah, a great choice. My prediction is also Sean Baker for Honora. I think he's going to win. I did not know that. I like that you bring the stats in the notes here. That I did not know that it was that strong of a correlation between the two awards. So, yeah, I'm very confident that he's going to win. That's who I would give my award to. You know, one of my favorite movies of the year. I think he's well deserving. And a director who I feel like before this year, not a lot of people even knew his name. You know, you're like, hey, have you seen the Florida Project? The what? No. You know? And so I'm excited that he's getting some recognition. And surprisingly, I also picked Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys.
Did
who
you?
I think
Okay.
should have been nominated. Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, like I said, it would have been in my top 5 for the end of the year. And shocking that he didn't get a recognition at all for Best Director. What are we doing?
Should have.
You
Just
made one of
nominate
the
all
best
10.
movies of the year. You should get a directing nomination.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at, you know, Denis Villeneuve and all these others who didn't
Yep.
get one. But all right, now we get to the big category of the night. It's going to end the night supposedly at the ceremony Sunday night. But Best Picture, where again we have 10 nominees. Starting off, we have Honora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Whew. Some good movies in here. You've seen 8 of these 10?
8 of the 10. I have not seen The Substance, and I have not seen I'm Still Here.
Yeah, and I haven't seen I'm Still Here as well. Hoping to remedy that
I
today
saw
as
the
soon as we
8th
leave
one.
here.
I saw the 8th one last night.
There we go. All right. Your prediction for who is going to win.
Okay, I'm going to put on my editorial hat here.
Okay, good. I like this, yeah.
Am I looking at that camera?
Yep.
All right, so every year there's at least one Best Picture nominee where after I watched it, I asked myself, why all the praise? What am I missing? I call it my Shape of Water film. Named
okay.
after the Best Picture winner from 2017, who to this day, I'm still trying to figure out why The Shape of Water won Best Picture. My Shape of Water nominee this year is Honora.
It hurts my heart to hear.
Oh, I didn't like the story. None of the characters were likable. I didn't think it was funny. Maybe I'm getting too old, but the constant swearing, along with the characters screaming at each other in the second half of the film, it wore me out. It really did.
Sure.
It was about a half an hour too long. I kept looking at the alarm clock thinking, this is still going? The only positive was the performance of Mikey Madison. I will agree that she did a good job.
Yeah.
All right. But I am picking it to win, not because I liked it. It was 8th out of the 8 films I saw,
Wow.
but it's got this huge wave of momentum
Sure.
going into the show. It won Writers Guild, Producers Guild, Directors Guild. The only movie to ever win those 3 and then lose Best Picture at the Oscars was Brokeback Mountain.
Right.
And the winner that year was one that
Crash.
everybody just went, what's going on? Crash.
Still,
And
how
they're
did that
still
happen
thinking
award.
about it. So I think that this wave's going to continue. Now is there going to be the conservative block of the Academy that's going to maybe shift
I can see that.
the momentum.
The older Academy voters.
Going with something like Conclave, which won at BAFTA.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
You do have some voters, some old guys like 67, 68 years old that.
What are you saying?
Happy birthday, buddy. Okay, so you
I'm
think.
sorry. I know you love this
I know.
movie.
That's all right. So you think that Honora will win? That's what you're saying?
I think it will win,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, do I ask? Who do you give your award to?
A complete unknown.
Yeah.
You got to go with this one. It was my favorite film of the year. It replaced Conclave at #1. I think it's in the same league as similar musical biopics like Coal Miner's Daughter, The Buddy Holly Story, Walk the Line. Stellar performances all around. I got to mention Elle Fanning as Dylan's girlfriend, Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash, Scoot McNairy as Woody Guthrie. I would love to see this get it. I don't think it will, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Who didn't, out of 10 movies nominated, who didn't get one that you thought should?
It was in my top 10. Where is all the love for the bike riders?
Oh, yeah.
It made a number of best of 2024 lists, but when it came to accolades from the various awards,
Completely
it's
blanked.
nowhere to be found. It disappeared. I love
It didn't
this.
even get nominated for Best Motorcycle Movie. Can you believe that?
No. I loved
Unreal.
it. I mean, I loved how it looked. Great soundtrack, great performances. Jodie Comer,
was
fantastic. She should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, Jodie Comer was great. In that.
Yeah.
That was her movie.
So,
Yeah.
I would have. Bike Riders should have been in there.
I like that. So my prediction, there's been a few times where I feel like the Academy is torn between a couple of movies, and they do the bogus thing where they split it. Director gets one,
Yeah,
picture gets the
you're
other. I feel like this is one of those years. I could see The Brutalist winning Best Picture. As you say,
Okay.
the older block of the Academy, this is more of that prestige pictures, 3.5 hours long, big passion project. We're already giving Adrian Brody his acting award, and we're not going to give it to that Honora. That's a porn movie, right? I could just see that there's a segment of the voting populace
You're not
that's like,
completely wrong on
we're
that.
not giving it to them. Sean Baker's a young director. Mikey Madison's a young actress. They're gonna be back with a movie that's more suitable to our taste. And The
Maybe.
Brutalist is the safer choice. And I think that The Brutalist has a chance of walking away with the award.
I don't think you're totally wrong. I mean, I think your top 5 are Honora, Conclave, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, that's biased, and Wicked.
Yeah. Yeah. For something, my spidey senses tell me, watch out for The Brutalist during the telecast.
Okay.
Walking away with
Well,
a
what
shocking
you
win at the end of the
say
night.
makes
When it
sense.
feels like everything's rolling for Honora.
Yeah.
And
That's happened.
Yeah. My award, I was torn. Honora is my award. I also thought Nickel Boy is one of those two. I'm going with Honora. I loved it. I know you didn't. I loved it. See, now I feel kind of, I don't want to do tete-a-tete, but I'm so tired of music biopics being rewarded constantly because I feel like music biopics are some of the easiest movies. And we see them constantly win awards, right?
No.
We see them win awards.
They learned how to play the instruments for
I
this.
know, but man,
They
with
did their
the,
own singing.
the Queen movie, and like every time they make one, like, you know what?
I don't think Rami Malek sang, though, did he? In that?
Oh, I don't think he. Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
know.
even Jamie Foxx, he didn't sing in Ray.
I know another one that won. See, I feel like the Academy just loves giving them to music biopics, and I want something else. I want Honora, and so I'm really.
Okay, well,
they're getting my award now. Movie that
Your
wasn't
Shape of Water.
a movie that wasn't nominated. This is tough. 10 nominees. I enjoy the 9 that I've seen, from more or less. And so I look at my list of movies I loved last year, and right there in the top 7, I believe, was La Chimera, a movie that I believe is on Netflix, maybe, or
Hulu.
maybe just Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah. I really enjoyed. La Chimera was a wonderful movie, a very different movie than anything I'd seen all year long. Wouldn't have won, but I would have loved to see it maybe step in here. I don't know where I would have put it.
Is it a foreign film?
It
Because I don't think it was nominated for foreign
No.
film. Because the guy from Challengers is in
Right,
that.
he's the star of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
I
it's,
can't
I mean,
remember
it's
his
partially in Spanish, partially
Okay.
in English.
Maybe it isn't then.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't know if
didn't
it qualified.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wasn't nominated for Best
Got a
Foreign
lot of
Language.
praise.
I loved it. I think it's great. And I thought he was great in it. And I thought maybe there's another one. He could have been nominated for something not named Challengers, because I think he was great in that. I know
It's
there's a
on
lot
my
of
list.
there's a lot of uproar this year also from people who were like, why didn't Challengers get nominated for anything? And it wasn't that great of a movie. But I had discussions with a couple people this year when the nominations came out and said Challengers got screwed. I don't think it did.
No, it didn't.
I think it got exactly what it needed, which was nothing. But anyways,
So I'm a little surprised, Deck, because I know I think your number one movie was Dune Part 2.
it was Dune Part 2 and Nora like this, but again,
But I think Dune Part 2, what's going to happen to that is it's going to get the Lord of the Rings treatment.
exactly right. Number 3's coming out.
The number
Let's
3,
give them their awards.
Dune Messiah,
Yes,
which I'm assuming is probably going to be better than Dune Part 2.
I think so, and it's going to be the wrapping up for Denis' passion project.
And then there you go. That's going to be it.
That's
We're going to
good.
give you the Best Picture Oscar for all 3.
I think of it the same way: the Return of the Return of the King treatment. Like, here you go, you're done. You put all this work into it. Now here's your accolades. Despite winning all the technical awards at the last one.
Yeah. Now, we talked a little bit about Amelia Perez. It was in my top 10. It got the most nominations. I think it was 13. I mean, if you don't know what's going on with this film, just Google it. You'll
Google
see
Carla
all
Sofia
kinds
Gascon
of
and
stories about it.
yeah.
I think too much controversy over those old posts are going to kill it as far as Best Picture.
Not only the controversy, but the lack of contrition afterwards.
Yeah,
Is killing it. Unfortunately for all the people that worked on this film,
it's too bad because it is a good movie. Could it win Best Foreign Film, which is one we haven't talked about? Maybe.
I don't.
But I'm Still Here is also one that was nominated for Best Foreign Film, and
Right.
that's probably going to be in the front runner for that.
I think you're right.
The Substance, it's the horror genre. I don't know. I think Academy members probably watched it, those that did. I mean, not every Academy voter watches every film.
Well, it's rare when a horror film gets nominated, and if Get Out couldn't win a few years back, which is a far superior
I did see,
film,
and I thought that was a good
far
movie.
better film to this.
Yeah.
If that couldn't win, The Substance better not win.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some that have seen it and probably went, "It's too gross. I'm not voting for that."
Sure.
Yeah, Nora. I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna reconvene. We're gonna be talking about the big win.
I
for
watched it
Nora.
last night. I was going to text you afterwards, but it was getting late, and I thought,
You know I work overnights. It's never too late for this guy.
yeah. I said,
Give me your
this
thoughts.
sucks.
That's all right. That's all right. Should I go back into bashing A Complete Unknown a little more?
No, that's okay. But
I think I gave it 3 stars.
Did you see Sean Baker? The one before that was it Red Rocket?
Red Rocket? Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep,
I didn't see
of course.
it. Okay.
With Simon Rex.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Also, he plays a porn star in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good movie. He likes to take movies about people on the edges, people on the periphery of society.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida Project's about
I read so
a
much
girl
good-
who's turning
I mean-
tricks in a hotel room with her daughter there. Tangerine.
I
he
saw
likes
Tangerine too, and
he likes to take those stories that aren't told.
I'm getting old.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll get you. Who do you want a music biopic of next?
What was the
If
question?
the next music biopic, who do you want it to be of?
Oh boy, I have
Your choice, Steve. Before
I haven't even thought about that. I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, maybe somebody. You think that somebody could tackle the Beatles, but that would just be a massive project.
yeah.
But then-
And there's so much Beatles
yeah,
content
but,
out there.
But of course, the same goes with Bob Dylan, and I really think they nailed it with this movie.
yeah,
I loved it.
it's no Get On Up, the James Brown music biopic starring Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Okay.
Love that. All right. Well, we'll find out. Like we said, March 2nd is the Oscars telecast. Conan O'Brien hosting. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's probably going to be some surprises. Hopefully not a ton of controversy, crazy controversy. And I'm just hoping for a good telecast. I'm going to go. I'm going to be watching it at Marcus Theaters, the Palace here in
Okay.
Sun Prairie. I'm going to be attending their Oscars telecast party that they're having there in the bar.
All right.
Our friend of the show, Zenon, is putting that on. I'm very excited to join them there. So if you want to join me. You always can find me sitting there at the Palace. Pretty much any time you go there, I might be there, but definitely during the Oscars telecast, I'll be sitting there watching it on the very big screen, having some fun. We've got some awards going on. So again, we want to thank Mr. Marcus for making this possible and always being so wonderful with us. I want to thank you once again for doing another episode with me. I don't know what this means. Now we've done 2. What does the future
My
hold?
wife asked me that question. What does this mean?
Do we need to
going to be
reconvene
more of these?
Do we need to do one in March to talk about what happened at the Oscars?
I don't know.
Look ahead at the remaining year? Who knows?
Maybe.
I guess you have to stay tuned to all this. So find us on your K-Sun Life and your Sunprey Media Center apps and see if maybe there's a new Real Reviews. Those Real Review boys post another one. You never know. So stay on your toes. But until we possibly see you again next time, I'm Jamison.
And I'm Steve.
Have a good one.